Hey, what's up guys, Marco here, welcome back to another lesson. Today I'm going to show you how to add more dynamics and presence to a very simple melody. Now the melody we're checking out today is in A minor key. And the trick is very simple. We are going to double some of the notes of the melody. Now there will be different sections. I'm also going to show you how to play a simple melody on one string, as well as playing a few chords. You can get the tab for everything that I play, check my Patreon page and subscribe to this channel if you want to keep up with all the upcoming lessons. Now let's have a close up and let's get started. Now guys, the chord progression is very simple. We have an A minor chord, an E minor 7, a G major chord, and a D minor chord. Now the melody goes like this. So as you can see, I'm playing two notes. Even though the melody will be on the B string fret number 1, 1, 3, and 5, I'm actually doubling each one of these notes. And so I will have bass note, A, 5th string, and then the G string fret number 2 and the B string fret number 1. Then I have 4 and 3, and 5 and 5. And this approach, so playing the melody in thirds, will basically add way more presence to the melody. I'm playing the bass note twice, one time at the beginning and one time after the second note. Now the second chord is E minor and I'll do the same thing. So I'm playing bass note low 6th string and then G and B string, fret number 2 and 1, and 4 and 3. G major. The G major will have the same melody as the E minor, but the bass note is different. The low E string fret number 3, open, open, 2 and 1, bass note, which I'm gonna play with the first finger, and then 4 and 3. And then the D minor chord. Now this is a beautiful melody. You have the bass note on the D string open, and then the melody on the B string fret 3 and the top E string fret number 1. So it's 3 and 1, 5 and 3, bass note, and 6 and 5. So beautiful and simple approach to even just, spice up the chords rather than just play the chords. You can actually add this very simple melody. Now we can also add a single note melody along with the melody in thirds. And this is how we're going to do it. So we're going to play the A minor chord, just like we learned it. And then we have the first string open, fret number 1, open, B string fret number 3, and fret number 1. We change chord, E minor. Same chord, and then we have the B string fret number 3, E string open, back to the B string fret number 3, 1, and B string open. For the G chord, we kind of do something different. because the chord is a little bit more difficult to play, we're going to keep the melody very simple. So you want to play the thirds, and then just a G string on fret number 4. And we finish with the D minor. And then we have a beautiful, beautiful melody here on the D minor. So you have the first string open, the fret number 5, 7, 8, and 10. Make sure that the bass note rings out. So the whole thing. Now we're going to play the same melody 1 octave higher. Now same concept, the melody 1 octave higher. And it's a slightly different melody. So I'm playing the A string open. The rhythm is the same and same structure. So you have bass note and then B string fret number 10, top B string fret number 8. Then 12, 10 and 13, 12. And then the melody on the top E string fret number 12, 13, 12, 8, and 12. E minor chord. Very simple. You have the low E string and then B string fret number 8 and the top E string fret number 7. Then 10 and 8 and 12 and 10. Then the same melody. You have 10, 12, 10, 7, and 10. G major will have the same thing. Slightly different, the melody is very simple here as well. So same melody as the E minor. The bass note is now on the third string open. So it's 8, 7, 10, 8, and 12, 10, and back to the 7. Very simple. And for the D minor, we just play these 3 notes. Bass note, and then B string fret 6 and top E string fret number 5. Then 8, 7, and 10, 8. Beautiful melody. And this is very simple. So it's the same approach played 1 octave higher. Now in the exercise you can also play a melody on 1 string. And I just did that because I just kind of wanted to break the pattern of playing always the same, the melody with the same rhythm. And so you have, the bass note is the A string, and the melody is on the top E string fret number 12, 10, 8, and then 10, 8, 7, 8, 7, 5, 7, 5, 3. So now you want to play the bass note at the beginning of each phrase. And then an E minor chord. You start with the low E string open. So you play the low E string, then you put down the E minor with the top E string fret number 3, and then you strum. Again. And the G major chord. Keep the strumming very simple. This is just to break down the melody, okay? Kind of avoid to really play always the same rhythm. And then I have the last section, which is just played with chords. F major, C major, D minor, A minor, and a G major chord. Very simple chords. The F is just 3 strings, 3, 2, and 1. The C major, 4 strings, 3, 2, open, and 1. D minor, very basic chord. And the A minor. And the G major. You can change the voicing on the G and play a G sus 4 and back to the G major and then the A minor with the same melody. So it's a very simple exercise to just explain a very basic concept, which is kind of harmonizing a simple melody. Now we only did it with thirds, it could be done with sixths, it could be done with a lot of different intervals. But for now, just practice this beautiful and simple melody. Let me know if you like it. I'll see you next time for another tutorial.